pressure on, it sort of cut itself off, I think. I don't know, maybe. M40 northbound. Time now 9:17. On the road now for 1 hour 59. 4 hours 21 in total. Only 20 past 9. Still want to be a trucker? Done a fucking day's work. I come down a long hill there, a beautiful countryside, you know, just rolling hills and trees, and but they're playing a bit of Black Sabbath on the radio, so I listened to that instead. Don't very often hear Black Sabbath, especially on Radio 2 Breakfast. Look at this countryside though. How good does this look? Hoping that France is just as beautiful. So I miss old England. Roads pretty quiet. Roads are very quiet. All the trees have burst out in leaf now. The only ones that haven't are probably the dead ones. Still quite a bit of blossom about. Just a wonderful time of year, I think. My favourite, without a doubt. Although I didn't enjoy sleeping in a really hot tin can last night. That was not enjoyable. I'm going to buy a couple more USB fans today, but it must remind me I've got to put my fan on to charge when I pull over. The next hour. Yeah, I think I'm going to buy a couple more, but at least one more anyway. It's just being able to move the air about. I'll also get me some thermometer out, and I'll let you know how hot it actually gets in here. of the River Cherwell. Not much of a river though. Look, I can see. Oh, glorious day. Temperature now. Temperature now is 20 degrees at 9:23. That's going some. There's a shortage of drivers, a massive shortage in drivers, and as a result that the supply chain is under risk of collapse. All brought about through various different reasons. Well, they're quoting on various different reasons. One of the biggest reasons they're quoting is the amount of foreign drivers that have gone back to their European countries of birth due to Brexit. I don't believe that, to be totally honest with you. I don't think that's the case. There's been a year's shortage of new passes coming through, but again, I don't think that has too much of a bearing. Yeah, I mean, yes, there will be some, because obviously drivers retire and drivers leave the industry, but and you know, they're not being replaced by new passes. However, personally, I think the biggest reason why the transport industry is in such shit state is because of the long hours and the shit money. It's the hours that kill it. They're getting up at ridiculous times in the morning, and you know, that's what kills the industry. Is working 60 hours a week. I'm lucky that I'm paid reasonably well. It's the top end of the scale. But even so, you know, I work hard for it. You know, I earn me money. I was a 14-hour shift yesterday. Now you got to ask yourself, how many people do you know start at 2:30 in the morning, or 2:15, or 2 o'clock in the morning, and they're still going 14 hours later, or just pulling over and then sleeping in the tin can in unbearable fucking heat, having 9 hours off and then going to do it all again. How many people do that? Only stupid bastards like me. That's the cold hard facts of it. And yeah, I do think we're underpaid for the amount of hours that we do. You know, if it was sensible hours, then I'd be paid accordingly. You know, it would be good pay. But it's the amount of hours that we do that kill the job. It's not a skilled job. You know, you don't have to be a rocket scientist or a brain surgeon. You know, I'm not overly bright. First to admit that. I know a lot of bollocks. But I'm no Einstein. And you know, you get some truckers on the forum saying that they should be, you know, paid 70, 80 grand a year. Well, fucking hell. You drive a truck, mate. And yeah, there is a certain amount of skill to it. But at the end of the day, you're driving, you're in control of a fucking bit of kit weighing 40 tonnes. And for a couple of seconds lapse of concentration over that 14 hours, you can kill somebody. Or yourself. You know, personally I think you should be paid what we're paid, but the driving hours and time should come down. And then you might start recruiting more people into the industry. You know, my wife, she's a director of a search and recruitment company that are doing well. You know, they do well. They're a niche. They're in a niche market, and they do well. And she's well paid, very well paid. Which actually puts me in an advantage, because if the shit really hit the fan and I really threw my toys out the pram and threw my keys back and said stuff your job up the arse, we'd still be alright. You know? And I had no income, we'd manage. So I'm lucky in that respect. But I'm not the sort of person to do that, so it wouldn't happen. Well, it might, but it hasn't happened yet. So anyway, I digress. But the hours she works and the hours that her staff work, I think it's either 37 or 39. Well, let's take it as 39 hours. Fuck me, I've done that by Wednesday sometimes. You know, Wednesday lunchtime, I'm knocking on the door of that. Or close the play Wednesday. Then I might work double that again. I mean, you know, this is the thing. And people say, oh yeah, you're limited though, aren't you? Well, yes, we are. But those limits are fucking, they're pretty high, you know. The bar is high. You know, we talk about drive time, and drive time is when the wheels are rolling. So if I'm in heavy traffic, say, you know, you know, I could be driving in London, and I could be driving for an hour from point A to point B. It takes me an hour, but I might have only clocked up 20 minutes of actual drive time, because every time I stop at a junction or a set of traffic lights or I'm queuing in traffic, the clock stops. And people don't realise that. You know? Oh, you can only do 9 hours a day. Yeah, 9 hours. That's 9 hours of solid wheel turning. And then they say, oh yeah, you're limited to 15 hours a day. Who the fuck wants to work a 15-hour shift? I fucking don't. I do. You know, I've done 13 and 14 hours. What day is it today? 13 Monday, 14 hours yesterday. Oh, it's over 13 on Monday. It's over nearly touching on the door 14 hours yesterday. Today, I suspect will be similar sort of time. They say, oh yeah, but you're limited to what you can drive in a fortnight. Yes, you are. But again, that is drive time, that's drive time, that's wheel turning time, which is 90 hours over a 2-week spread. Now I was on 85 hours I think last week. Close the play, I was at 85, yeah I think it was 85. Well, the week before, sorry, 85. Last week was down a bit because of bank holiday. The weekend I did Saturday and Sunday, I was at the 85 hours of drive time. And I think I actually wrote down how many hours work, shift hours. And they say, oh yeah, but working time directive clicks in. Yeah, it does, yeah. But you've got to take out of that your brakes. And this is where it all gets a bit tricky, really. When do you have a brake? How do you have a brake? A brake really should be, my interpretation should be, you're free to dispose of your time as you please. Now if I'm sat on a bay, going to places, I'm not even allowed out of the cab. Yeah, I clock it as a break. I could be relaxing in my bunk, but I can't leave the cab. So my time is not free to dispose of as I please. So technically, I probably shouldn't be on break, but we do. But it's it's a difficult one. Yeah, I'm free to walk around in my or do I put it on other work? But that still comes out of your working time directive as well. So whichever way you look at it, they've got you by the bollocks. Personally, I think that you should be, from the time your card goes in to the time your card comes out, that is your working time. That is the time that you are in charge of that vehicle. And you're on company time, and you should be limited to no more than 50 hours a week to keep you fresh and alert and safe from fucking killing people or yourself. And that takes into consideration that you may be sat on a bay for 4 hours. Well, if you are, that's not the driver's fault. He still can't go anywhere. He can't do anything. He can't go, right, I'm going down the shops now, I'm going to go and I'm going down to the cinema. It's not, it's not like when you have a break, when you work in an office and you go, right, I'm going to go out at lunchtime, I'm going to go in town and do a bit of shopping, or go and sit in a cafe and have a glass of. That fucking don't happen to us. Or very rarely. Sometimes if there's a cafe or a burger van right outside where you're tipping or loading, you can wander out and get something, if they allow you out of the cab. So it's, that's why there's a shortage of drivers, because it's shit. Long hours, for little reward. But like I said, I'm quite lucky that, you know, I'm quite lucky that I'm quite well paid. My company pays quite well. They're at the top end of the scale. But some of the shittier companies to work for that are paying just above minimum wage. And yeah, I know it's an unskilled job. But you're working some amount of fucking hours, you know? And people turn around and say, yeah, but if you don't like it, you can fucking leave. Well, yeah, you can do that as well. But some people are not in a lucky position to be able to do that. You know? They've got mortgages, kids. They've got responsibilities. You can't just turn around and go, fuck it, I can afford to take a month off or 2 months off while I look for another job. Chances are you'll find another company to drive for, especially at the moment. That's fucking not a problem, but it might still be shitty money and shitty conditions. Cab hopping, you don't get your own, you know, I keep my truck. No one else drives this. I park this up at a weekend, no one touches it. The only time somebody might get into it is when I go on holiday for a week or 2 weeks. In that case, you might get an agency bloke in, but I've had it before. So I've been away for 2 weeks and the fucking truck ain't turned a wheel. So, you know, it's... So I'm lucky there, and like I said, they're good payers. First of all, we get left alone. Well, we do now, it's just that knobber in the office. Fucking got the bullet. Phoning you up every 5 minutes. How are you getting on? Well, you can see where I am. It's fucking vehicle's tracked. Open up your screen and you'll fucking see exactly where I am, so you can tell how I'm getting on. Why are you bothering me? You're that little picker risking his life to pick up someone's shit. Fucking disgusting. You know, it's you don't need that sort of hassle. And the only reason he did that because he had no comprehension of how long it took to get from fucking A to B. Which is quite worrying because he did have his HGV licence. You know, we know roughly what time it takes to get from certain places to certain places. I give you an example. From London Gateway down to Southampton, it's approximately, you know, you got to look at 3 hours. Sometimes it could be 2.5 if it's, you know, if there's absolutely no traffic and you're not held up and there's just absolutely nothing going on. And you get a clear run, it could be 2.5. But you know, you've got to allow 3 hours. He thought I could do it at 1 hour 45. 1 hour 45? You're fucking kidding me. So I said to him, I said, right, if you think I can do it at 1:45, 1 hour 45, you put me on the fucking docks for the time you 1 hour 45 after I fucking leave. But I want your fucking home number, because he was wanting to book me at 4 o'clock in the morning. I said, so when I don't fucking make it and miss it by a fucking hour, I've got someone to phone up. He backtracked then. They grow pheasants and breed pheasants and quails and stuff like that in that field there to my left. No really you saw any of that. A lot of quails. think there's an answer. Well, there is an answer to this. Pay your drivers more and look after them and give them the respect that they deserve. Don't treat them like shit. You know? You know, you can be paid less but treated better. And be happy. You know, it's not all about the money. It's about how you're treated as an individual, as a person, and not as a. Well, this has always been the case. You know, it's like, well, if you don't like it, you know, you got a bit of a beef. You got a beef with the company, and you go, well, you know, what are you going to do about it? And they just come around and say, well, if you don't like it, fuck off. So of course, drivers did. But the problem the companies are finding now is that they can't really adopt that attitude because there isn't fucking drivers, so they're down a driver now. So whereas before they could turn around and say, yeah, fuck off, you know, drivers are kind of funny, but they ain't anymore. But it's taken the companies a little while to fucking catch on to this fact, and that's why there's a fucking big shortage. And one thing this, you know, this shit show of a pandemic has taught all of us is that nothing's forever. And a lot of people have got out of it because they've gone, you know what, life's fucking too short. I'm going to go and fucking do something else. And they have done. I'm going to work less hours, I'm going to be home every night. I'm going to see my kids grow up. I'm not going to miss my wife's birthday or anniversary or my kids' birthdays. It was our lad's birthday on fucking yesterday, Tuesday. I wasn't at home. I was in fucking Clacket Lane Services. Sweating me bollocks off. I would have quite liked to have been home. Ain't happening. And like that, that's what it's like being a trucker. So for those that are thinking of coming into it, you know, you got to accept these things and have an understanding partner, or be single, to allow you to be able to do this and live this sort of lifestyle, because it is a lifestyle. It's not a, you know, tramping. And yeah, I could be home every night, but it wouldn't work for me because I can't get up at fucking 2 o'clock in the morning. You know, we don't really have day drivers. I think we've got 1, maybe 2 day drivers. And because it's the nature of the game. But yeah, you could you know, you could go and work for, you know, fucking Sherry and Acock or whatever it is, or, you know, some builders merchant. I'd take a 50% cut in salary. You know, B&O. You know, my plan is to work as hard as I can for the next couple of years. Earn as much as I can. And be done with it. So yeah. So the problem of driver shortages, treat people with a bit of respect. Pay them a decent wage and notch the hours down just a little bit. Not too, you know, you don't have to pay, you know, it doesn't have to be like, oh, I only want to work fucking 7 hours a day, 8 hours a day. But fucking cap it at 10. I think 10 hours is a long enough day to be on the road. First. You look at a lot of the drivers, you know, you're travelling up the motorway, and the vast majority of these, you know, the big trucks, the drivers are all pushing out 12, 13, 14, 15 hours a day. And with that, it reduces fatigue, without a shadow of a doubt. you're fucking travelling 70, 80 mile an hour and you cut in front of a big truck. And is that driver on the ball enough to be able to stop or even see you or react quick enough to your fuckwittery? Because he's just pulled a 52 or 3 15-hour shifts on the trot with only taken 9-hour breaks off because that's what the job dictates. And that's within the legal scope of the job. And you've also got to remember that a lot of these drivers are hourly paid. I'm not, I'm salaried. So a lot of these drivers are hourly paid, so they will max the hours out. They will drive for 2 10-hour days, the rest will be 9-hour days, spread over 15 hours 3 times a week, reducing their rest down to 9 hours a night for 3 nights. You know? Come on then, fella, put your fucking foot down. Oh no, fucking ease off, man. No. Come on, get on. There you go. Still fucking stand down. Come on! Say fucking thank you, you aren't, are you? Fuck, it made me slow down. I'll slow down, hold him, let him pass, let him get in safely instead of hanging him out there like a wanker. And he doesn't even say thank you when he pulls back in, unless I missed it, of course. Now he's going down here, he'll put his fucking foot down. Ease up again. Fuck some more fuel consumption, huh? Hopefully he's far enough ahead now that any hills will be able to get out more way. He's far enough ahead to not cause me bother. Glorious day. Anyway, 9:52 now, fucking waffling on and up. Still on the M40. Coming off at 3.8. Then towards the M6. And once I'm on the M6, looking for a loop. I was going to turn you off and then forgot to turn you off. You're still going, isn't you? turned you off, have I? So I better do it now while I'm talking about it. So I'll speak to you later.